Javon the creative, bad boy with a syllabus. Teaches truth with the camera, not cloud of gimmicks. It's just cause you can post it, don't mean you should. Ethics in the frame, like, let's be understood. Media literacy, hoodie with the sleeves pushed, breaking down consent while the algorithm looks shook. He'll roast a bad take, then explain it real calm, like intent matters, fam, context is the bomb. Teaches kids how to shoot, adults how to pause. Who's telling the story and who benefits, dog? He don't chase viral, he builds a spine, cause clicks fade fast, but integrity's timeless. Got students trying to flex, B-roll of pain. He like, why you filming? Who wins from this frame? Camera ain't neutral, it carries your weight. Every angle of choice, every cut of debate. Funny with it, but serious in tone. Knows power lives in what you leave alone. Creative bad boy, not messy allowed. Just teaching folks how to be human and proud. So if Javon talk media, you better lean in. He'll give you the tools and the mirror within. That's the real flex, that's the dangerous joy. Javon the creative, ethical bad boy. Javon the creative, bad boy with a syllabus. Teaches truth with the camera, not cloud of gimmicks. It's just cause you can post it, don't mean you should. Ethics in the frame, like, let's be understood. Media literacy, hoodie with the sleeves pushed, breaking down consent while the algorithm looks shook. He'll roast a bad take, then explain it real calm, like intent matters, fam, context is the bomb. Teaches kids how to shoot, adults how to pause. Who's telling the story and who benefits, dog? He don't chase viral, he builds a spine, cause clicks fade fast, but integrity's timeless. Got students trying to flex, B-roll of pain. He like, why you filming? Who wins from this frame? Camera ain't neutral, it carries your weight. Every angle of choice, every cut of debate. Funny with it, but serious in tone. Knows power lives in what you leave alone. Creative bad boy, not messy allowed. Just teaching folks how to be human and proud. So if Javon talk media, you better lean in. He'll give you the tools and the mirror within. That's the real flex, that's the dangerous joy. Javon the creative, ethical bad boy. Javon the creative, bad boy with a syllabus. Teaches truth with the camera, not cloud of gimmicks. It's just cause you can post it, don't mean you should. Ethics in the frame, like, let's be understood. Media literacy, hoodie with the sleeves pushed, breaking down consent while the algorithm looks shook. He'll roast a bad take, then explain it real calm, like intent matters, fam, context is the bomb. Teaches kids how to shoot, adults how to pause. Who's telling the story and who benefits, dog? He don't chase viral, he builds a spine, cause clicks fade fast, but integrity's timeless. Got students trying to flex, B-roll of pain. He like, why you filming? Who wins from this frame? Camera ain't neutral, it carries your weight. Every angle of choice, every cut of debate. Funny with it, but serious in tone. Knows power lives in what you leave alone. Creative bad boy, not messy allowed. Just teaching folks how to be human and proud. So if Javon talk media, you better lean in. He'll give you the tools and the mirror within. That's the real flex, that's the dangerous joy. Javon the creative, ethical bad boy. Javon the creative, bad boy with a syllabus. Teaches truth with the camera, not cloud of gimmicks. It's just cause you can post it, don't mean you should. Ethics in the frame, like, let's be understood. Media literacy, hoodie with the sleeves pushed, breaking down consent while the algorithm looks shook. He'll roast a bad take, then explain it real calm, like intent matters, fam, context is the bomb. Teaches kids how to shoot, adults how to pause. Who's telling the story and who benefits, dog? He don't chase viral, he builds a spine, cause clicks fade fast, but integrity's timeless. Got students trying to flex, B-roll of pain. He like, why you filming? Who wins from this frame? Camera ain't neutral, it carries your weight. Every angle of choice, every cut of debate. Funny with it, but serious in tone. Knows power lives in what you leave alone. Creative bad boy, not messy allowed. Just teaching folks how to be human and proud. So if Javon talk media, you better lean in. He'll give you the tools and the mirror within. That's the real flex, that's the dangerous joy. Javon the creative, ethical bad boy. Javon the creative, bad boy with a syllabus. Teaches truth with the camera, not cloud of gimmicks. It's just cause you can post it, don't mean you should. Ethics in the frame, like, let's be understood. Media literacy, hoodie with the sleeves pushed, breaking down consent while the algorithm looks shook. He'll roast a bad take, then explain it real calm, like intent matters, fam, context is the bomb. Teaches kids how to shoot, adults how to pause. Who's telling the story and who benefits, dog? He don't chase viral, he builds a spine, cause clicks fade fast, but integrity's timeless. Got students trying to flex, B-roll of pain. He like, why you filming? Who wins from this frame? Camera ain't neutral, it carries your weight. Every angle of choice, every cut of debate. Funny with it, but serious in tone. Knows power lives in what you leave alone. Creative bad boy, not messy allowed. Just teaching folks how to be human and proud. So if Javon talk media, you better lean in. He'll give you the tools and the mirror within. That's the real flex, that's the dangerous joy. Javon the creative, ethical bad boy.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I hope you can hear me. We're back for another class here at DCM on a lovely Friday afternoon at 12 p.m. And today we're going to talk about the ethics of AI in media production. I'm Javon Manning, your digital bad boy right here at DCM. That's the intro. So can we get the slides up? And we'll jump right in. Cool. All right. So, like I said before, I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk about the ethics of AI in media production. So, before we get started, I know. We hear all these things about AI. We see how how devastational it is. We hear all these different things, but we're gonna make it a little lighter in here. Yeah, we're gonna talk about AI and how it's helpful, but you know, we're gonna go through it all. So let's just jump right in. So, like I was saying, I know, there's a lot of apprehension. There's some people view it as a threat. Some people think it's gonna destroy the world. Some people think it is destroying the world. And there's good, there's bad, there's up, there's down, there's left, there's right. There's all kinds of different misconceptions and conceptions and things going on with AI that realistically we can't predict every outcome. But like any other great innovation, like the internet, tools, cars, knives, mouses, computers, any powerful innovation like that, it's all still fundamentally a tool. AI is fundamentally a tool. The impact, whether it's good or whether it's bad, it all depends on how we choose to use the tool. The same can be said with the internet. The internet can be a great place, but we have also seen how it can be a very bad place. Social media is a great thing, but it can also be a very bad thing, and we've seen it in multiple different avenues. AI is no different from any of those tools. It's always still going to be just a tool, so let's think about it as a tool that we use in anything. Specifically today, media production, but however you use AI, it is still a tool. How you use it matters. All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's start with a question. Everything that you watch, everything that you hear, everything that you share, it always passes through someone's editing decision. That's all the videos you watch on YouTube, the shows you watch on Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, you name it, CNN Plus, whatever it is. It's always an editing decision. So tonight's question, even though it's not tonight, it's the afternoon, I understand, but we are not in the morning, so we're going to say tonight. Tonight's question is, when AI makes those decisions cheap, fast, and invisible, how do you know what to trust? By the end of the hour, we're going to have a framework to answer that exact question. Sound good? Sound good? Okay. All right. So we're going to start with a little game. And it'll be round one, can you tell? So we're going to do an audio example. We're going to do a photo example, and we're going to do a B-roll example. So let me swing over to my other full screen. Hey, let me go. Okay, cool. So this website is a website that, and I probably should have linked it, but it's fine. This website is a website that you can actually test to see if it's AI or if it's real. It's a good way to practice with games. So we're going to go through a couple examples. The first thing we're going to do images and videos, and then I actually cloned my voice for the audio example, so we're going to see which one, if you guys get it right. Cool. So let's start with, we'll just play the daily mix. We won't go all the way through because I think there's like 10 questions, but essentially you go from you pick 4 pictures. Which of these would you think is real? You keep your own score. I'm just going to select. We can get them wrong. We can get them right together. So I'm going to say that, okay, so we got Dom in the audience. So he's going to pick number 4.
4.
Oh, yeah, you can talk. Okay, so number 4 was wrong. It was actually number 2. So let's do this next one. Which of these 4 do you think is real?
3.
Okay, so Dom says number 3. It was right. Okay, we're cooking. All right, so out of these 4, which one do we think?
2.
All right, so we're going to go with 2. It's fake. Number 4 was real. Okay. So now out of these 4, what we think? What we think?
1.
Number 1? Okay. Number 1. Ooh. See how confusing that looks? That's crazy.
Right. It looks so
Okay.
real.
So out of these 4, what you think?
I'll be honest with you. I think 1, but I'm gonna say 3.
Okay, so we're gonna go with 3. Dom said he thinks number 1. We're gonna go with number 3. Ooh, you should have won your first one. AI's getting good. Okay, we got 4 more. So, what out of these 4? What do you think?
2 looks like a TV show.
2.
I'm gonna go with 2.
Number 2 is the final answer. Ooh, you got it. Okay, so we got 2 right out of 7 so far. Okay, so out of these 4, what you think?
3.
Number 3? Okay, bet. Ooh, number 1. What about these 4?
3.
Number 3? Okay. Ooh, number 2. Okay, what we think for this one? And I guess we can make them a little bit bigger. So this is number 3. Oh, snap. I guess we got it wrong.
I
But
was gonna get it wrong anyway.
okay, so this is number 1. This one is number 2.
4.
Number 4? Number 4? All right, y'all. So we're gonna enlarge it so you can see. This is number 4. Boom. All right. What do you think? Ooh, we got it right. Okay, so we got 3 out of 10 photos correct.
Yikes.
Maybe we might have had 4. That was my fault. I clicked one on accident. But you see, like AI is getting much better with images. So now let's try some video. So we'll do video, and we'll do. Let's just do a mixed. We'll do mixed mode. We'll do mixed. So we got 10 of these. So out of these 2, which one do you think? Left or the right? 1 or 2? We'll say the one on the left is 1.
I think, all right, so 1.
Yep. Cool. All right, 1. All right. What about these?
I think 1 again.
1 again? Okay. You got it right. What about these?
2.
2? You got it right. What about these?
2.
Okay.
1.
We got number 1. Okay. We're cooking with this. We're cooking with the video.
1. 1. Oh,
Ooh, you got it right. See, stick with your instincts.
1.
Number 1.
And I love plants too.
Yeah, this one's kind of a hard one. This one's a little bit like you never know because it could just be a closer shot. It could be real, could be fake. You never know. But we gotta pick
I'm
one.
gonna say 1 just to stick to my guns. I'm just gonna say
1.
1.
Ooh, that was wrong. Okay. And what about this one?
2.
2? Yeah, ain't nobody jumping off a wheelchair like that. All right, so this one. So you notice video is a little bit easier to read than photos. Photos have gotten much better with photo production. Videos, they're still on their way, but they're still pretty close. We still got 1 wrong. So that's just another example. And then the next one will be let me make sure. Drew, will they hear audio if I play some audio off my computer? Will they hear it? Cool. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna play you 1 audio file. We got Dom in the studio with us, so he's gonna be our final pick. But if you're joining us on live, just let me know in the comments.
Just make sure you have your audio selected to go to the desktop.
Okay, so let me change my audio really quick so y'all can actually hear what is about to play. We're gonna go to sound settings, and would it be NDI audio?
No, it would be decimated.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna go to the decimator. Okay, cool. So cool. Okay, so first audio file we're gonna hear is this one.
Teaches kids how to shoot. Adult
Okay, give it one. We're gonna give the audio team 1 second. I think I threw them for a curveball. That's my fault. I didn't even mention it. Okay, cool. So we're gonna play this. One second. All right, well, it looks like it's not playing. I'm not sure why. Let's see. Well, all right, we won't do the audio example. I'm not sure what's going on. But a good example would still be was when, if you saw the reel that I did to promote the class, you saw I cloned my voice in 30 or so seconds. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit. But we saw that that clip that I made and I cloned my voice. You're really able to clone your voice in a matter of 30 seconds today. So go watch that reel, see which one you think sounds more realistic, and maybe I'll post the audio that I have and let everybody pick from which one of those. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, so what your score means. In a room full of media curious people, if a room full of media curious people can't reliably spot the fake, your audience can't. Just look closely is no longer a defense. Detection is losing the arms race. And most importantly, disclosure and ethics are the only protection we have left. That's why this class matters. So, what tools do we have currently today? We have 3 categories of AI synthesis. Plus, there are quieter workhorses that we actually use, that I actually use on a regular basis. And that's AI noise removal, upscaling, transcription, auto editing, and color matching. So when you hear auto editing, a lot of people think like, oh, this computer's doing it for you. That's actually the software is like the Opus Clips that takes a long form podcast video and turns it into a reel format. That's the video AIs that does the same thing. That's Adobe Podcast that edits the audio and upscales the audio and makes noise removal a lot easier. And then there's other color matching tools that auto match color, and there's auto matching, auto upscaling. There's auto transcription that's actually in Adobe Premiere right now. I love that too. And then there's text-based editing as well. That's still a form of AI because now the computer is helping you edit based off the words you're clicking, helping you cut based off the words you cut out. That's still audio. That's still AI editing. So very helpful tools, but how you use them matters. But the 3 big ones, we have face synthesis. That is try to say that 5 times fast. Face synthesis and deepfakes. So this is swapping or generating human faces in video. People actually use this. We'll have some examples later. Number 2, voice cloning. You've seen this in my reel. You can clone your voice in under 30 seconds, and if you want to do the longer form version, then you can actually record 30 minutes of you talking, record 30 minutes of someone talking, up to 30 minutes, up to I believe 2 hours, and you can get a professional clone of the voice for $22 a month. It's pretty cheap to clone somebody's voice professionally. That's pretty scary. Now, the third one is generating video. And this is creating footage from a text, creating footage from a text. And these are softwares like Sora, Runway, Google's VO, different softwares like that. Like, yeah, you can actually generate video based off of text now. Beneficial, but can also be dangerous depending on how it's used. Fair? Fair. Now, to put it in perspective, how fast did this actually happen? This has happened within less than 10 years, it's about 9. So in 2017, we had the crude face swaps, and they appear on Reddit. They were obviously fake, and it was kind of a niche hobby, but it started the entire domino effect of what we see today. Now, that was step 1. Now, step 2, 2019. We got our first major voice fraud. A UK energy firm, we won't name the firm, wires $243,000 after a call from a cloned CEO voice. So criminals that are cloning voices of a CEO with plenty of information that's on the internet to create that clone came up on $243,000. I would love to come up on $243,000, but that is a perfect example of how utilizing those different tools in the wrong way or in detrimental ways can cause a lot of harm for companies. Perfect example. And that doesn't, in the high CEOs, it doesn't matter who it is. Now, in 2023, voice cloning goes consumer grade, and an AI Drake song forces the music industry to respond. Now then after that, we start seeing AI artists. You start seeing different artists want to control their voice and different things like that. And that was as early as 3 years ago. And it's only getting better by the minute. It's only getting better by the hour. It's only getting better. Now, from 2024 until now, we have photorealistic text to video. You've seen it firsthand with the game we just played. And we have real-time face swaps on live calls. We have election deepfake robocalls. So many different things going on right now. But when it comes to different things like that, like even on FaceTime now, you can swap your face with your Bitmoji, or not your Bitmoji, it's a Genmoji, but you can generate a emoji based off of your face. Like that technology is the same technology that they're using to create photorealistic versions of your face with real-time face swap. And NVIDIA actually has a tool that I was very interested in that when you're doing interviews, I forget the name, maybe I'll get the name and I'll post about it when it comes back to me. But it's a tool that when you're doing an interview, you notice some people will look down or look away. It's a tool that actually makes it look as if they're always looking at the camera or looking at a subject. So that's another very important tool to watch because it can make you look like you're looking at something else when you're not, you aren't even looking, or you were looking away, but you're looking forward. But all of this comes back to a little cautious line at the bottom. The pattern. This goes from research lab to free app in about 18 months every single time. So essentially every 18 months, this is out of the research phase into actual implement app phase that people utilize today. That's the 11 labs, the well-said AIs, the, I forget the other one, Descript, and I believe there's like 2 more, but those are the 3 big ones that I know personally from personal use. So yeah, these things, every 18 months, these tools make drastic improvements to be better. That's not to be overlooked. Now, the economics that nobody is really talking about. First, we're going to talk about the traditional way of things for me. And we're media producers, so we're going to use this in the media producer perspective. But why these tools really become irresistible, let's look at the traditional way. Now, I run a production company, Glass Valley Productions. So when we have a shoot, we have to have B-roll, or we have to do a shoot. We have to get B-roll. We need crew. We need gear. We have a full day, and it's thousands of dollars. So essentially, we recently did a project for a convention. I had to charge them about, we won't say what I charged them, but I had to spend at least $3,000 on crew alone. That's editor, film, crew helping out, PAs, different things like that. Like the crew by itself costs $3,000. And we got to shoot, got a full day. People got to eat, people got to drink, people have to take a break. People's feet hurt. You can't just shoot all throughout the day. It's not going to work. It's very tiring on people. People get tired. So that's one example. The next is narrator re-records. So we have to schedule with the narrator. We got to get studio time. We have to pay the talent fees, and we have to help that process go all the way from start to finish. And that is not a 1 hour, a 1 day, a 1 minute process. Like that is a days to weeks to months at a time, depending on people's schedules. And then there's reenactment. So stories and movies that we're telling, like you need actors, you need locations, and those locations need permits. All of that costs money. All of these examples cost money, and not a small amount of it. Now, why does it become irresistible with the AI way? Well, the B-roll shoot, the crew, the gear, the full day, the thousands of dollars, all of that can be solved with text prompt in a few minutes. And you can continue to tweak and add to it for, if you spent the same amount of time doing what you were doing with the shoot, the crew, the gear, and all that, imagine how great the actual prompt is going to be. And imagine how great the product will finally turn out. No guarantee that it will, but in the traditional way, there's also room for a lot of mistakes. The AI way, you can make thousands of mistakes within minutes, versus the traditional way, you make thousands of mistakes, it costs you thousands of dollars. The other, for the narrators, is a voice clone that you can pick up in seconds. A voice clone that picks up anything in seconds. I can give you a script, boom, you got fully narrated, inflections right, everything's good. It's all good in seconds. I don't have to call anybody in. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to, it's not a whole fight to get it done. It's just, boom, here's the script, voice, script, boom, you're done. Easy. And then for the reenactment part, you can generate footage straight from your laptop instead of having to go to these locations and get these permits and find these actors. You can generate all of that right from your laptop. You can continue to tweak that for all the time that you'd spend going to the location, calling these people, getting the permits. You can be tweaking that prompt to make sure that footage comes out in the way that you want it to come out. Now, before we go into that, it's just, this is what is quietly shaping how media is being produced. Netflix is doing the same thing. They're testing out stories, thousands of stories based off the data of what you're watching. Paramount's doing the same thing. These larger companies, they're using AI to figure out what is the best way to save us time, money, fees, reshoots, different things like that, to make sure they're just making hit after hit after hit after hit every single time. And these things are quietly shaping the economy. So something to be aware of. But we're gonna go back to just some examples. Same tool, 2 stories. Voice cloning. Story A. A documentary narrator flubs 1 word in a 40-minute read. The editor clones the voice, fixes the word, the narrator approves it, nobody has to re-record, and everybody gets to go home early. I don't know about you, I like to go home early and still know that I got a good day's work done, and I don't have to re-record something. I don't have to re-record a whole 40-minute read because I messed up 1 word. I can actually mess up and I could just fix that, and it flows easy. Boom, boom. And then there's story B. A finance worker joins a video call with his CFO and colleagues. Every person on the call looks real, and they're a real-time deep fake, and he ends up wiring $25 million to criminals. This is the same technology, but what changed? The use. And if you don't believe me, we're going to swing over right to this article. Ooh-wee. Clicking is hard. This is a CNN article. You want to read about it? Boom. It's right here. Voila. Everyone on the call looked real, sounded real, same technology. Boom. You want to read it? It's right there. I'll put the link. I can share the link if you want to read it, but it's right there. You can look it up on Google as well. Same technology, different outcome. What changed? The use. So, okay. Another one. Same tool, 2 stories with video. So, a historical documentary uses AI to restore and upscale damaged archival film. This has actually happened to me before. I've gone on a shoot and my actual footage got damaged. It didn't copy all the way over, and it saved in .rsv file. That's another day. That might be a class in itself. But it saved a .rsv file, meaning that it didn't give me a full MP4, but all the footage was there. But to continue, it's recovering detail that was really there in the original scene. Sounds reasonable, right? Okay, cool. Now there's story B. A political ad generates realistic footage of an event that never happened. Released 2 days before an election. Same technology, but what changed? Same thing. The use. How it's used. I have personally experienced story A and experienced story B. But story A is, I've used a software. It's called rsv.repair to read my RSV file to help me recover said footage so I can use it to finish an edit. Reasonable tool for a very helpful situation that I didn't want to, for a very unfortunate situation that I didn't want to have to refund the client on a shoot that I'll never be able to reshoot because it's an event that happened. I can't ask them to redo the event. It's ridiculous. So there's that. Now, that brings me to my thesis. AI is not the ethical question. The deception is the ethical question. The tool itself has no moral alignment, but the use, it does. Which means every one of us using these tools has to know where the lines are because the software will never draw them for us. Plain and simple. It is up to us to figure out what the moral alignment is. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. All innovative tools are just tools. We are in charge of how those tools are used. A knife is great when you have to cut the chicken before you cook it. But if you stab somebody in their hands, then it's not that safe. Still a great tool, but the use is what matters. The internet, social media, great tool to learn from, connect, share with people in a very meaningful way. But if you use that to cyberbully people, well, now we're getting into a horrible use of the tool. If you're using that tool to scam people, then you are making horrible use of the tool. So, brings me back to my prior point. AI isn't the question. AI is not the unethical part here. The deception is. Yes, when we get into the training of models and what they're trained on and data, yes, they still have a part to play in it. But again, the AI itself is not the problem. The people programming it are the problem in those situations if they're programming it and training it off of inaccurate or incorrect or biased data. It's not the tool, it's the use. So, exercise the spectrum. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give us a couple scenarios, and we're going to pick where each of these scenarios falls. So for each of the following, just place it on a scale of clearly fine to clearly deception. Ooh, I can't talk today. And be ready to defend your placement. All right? Cool. Now, scenarios 1 through 3. Scenario 1. We're using AI upscaling to restore old archival footage for a documentary. Clearly fine, clearly deception. I'm going to say that's clearly fine.
You say that's clearly fine?
Yeah. What is Dom's here in the studio? What do you say, Dom?
If it's accurate, clearly fine.
Cool.
Because it's a documentary, so like a historical documentary.
Yeah, it's like
So we're reporting on history.
Yeah.
If it's accurate, completely fine. If it's inaccurate, not fine, not okay.
Okay. So Dom says if it's accurate, then yeah, it's clearly fine. If it's inaccurate, then it's clearly deception. Fair. And let's say for the benefit of the doubt, the footage is just old, it's damaged, and we're just trying to recover it to make sure that we can upscale and it's good.
Clearly fine.
So then yeah, clearly fine. Cool. Scenario 2. Cloning a narrator's voice to fix one flubbed word instead of a full re-record with their approval. Clearly fine. Clearly deception.
Clearly fine.
Clearly fine. Dom says it's clearly fine too. So yeah, it was like narrator messed up one word. Let's say Dom's narrating something for me, and I say, hey Dom, you said Tuesday instead of Thursday. And I'm like, all right, well, instead of having you drive all the way back down to the studio, I'm just going to use an AI clone voice, or I'll use an AI voice to fix it, and cloning your voice using the 40 minutes we already had, and I'll just have it say that one word, and then I do it, and now I send it to Dom. He's like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. We're good. That's clearly fine. You approved it. And, this is where contracts and safety and stuff, we'll get into that too. But that's where that kind of stuff comes into. Now, scenario 3, using AI-generated B-roll of a Denver street in a piece about Denver. You didn't go to this street. So a good example. Let's go to Larimer 15th, right where everybody walks. They have all the hanging stuff, all the hanging signs. We generate a video of that instead of just going down to 15th and filming it. Now, is that clearly fine or is that clearly deception? He's thinking.
I don't know for real, but why not just do the real thing?
See? And that's where lines get blurry, because it's like, then you think about, well, what are my limitations on going over there and filming? Do I have a camera? Am I able to go over there and actually film? Is it closed? There's something going on. Now, yeah. But I'm going to have to label this one clearly deception, because at the end of the day, you could just go down to Larimer Street and 15th and film and go from there. So there's that. So let's go through 3 more. Scenario 4. Cloning that same narrator's voice to record an entirely new script, and the narrator has never read it or approved it.
Deception.
Yep, that's deception. Exactly. That's deception. Why would someone do that? Because that's a horrible use of the tool. That is an unethical use of the tool. We don't want to, if they don't approve it, that's not what they were reading. They never read it. Now they either deserve to be compensated properly for it, as if they were the one to read it, or they need the rights to it. Whatever it is, they are entitled to be compensated for it at the end of the day. And it needs to be taken down if they want it taken down. Now, scenario number 5. Now, I'm going to let y'all know ahead of time, this is a trick question. But using AI to remove a protester's face from documentary footage to protect their identity. Is that clearly fine or clearly deception?
I think it's clearly fine because there could be some kind of laws or something where you're protecting that person and you're protecting yourself as well. Because say that person don't want to be on camera, so I can see it from that standpoint. It's clearly fine. Do you have a counterpart to that? You have another side of that?
I am actually going to label that the same way. Dom said that it's clearly fine because it's protective. And that's exactly what I would say, because you're not altering the video. It's essentially the same as blurring someone out for an interview. We've seen that before with different interviews on, like, I forget the show, maybe it was Cops, but they like
whistleblower type of
like
thing.
whistleblowers. Like, we see interviews with them and they have just the silhouette of them, or then they alter their voice to protect that person. Like, you're not using it to, let's say, like, the protester said something that is, like, very helpful to the community, or very, like, it was something real and true and you took them out. Now you're trying to deceive people, or you change them to make them say, like, oh, instead of voting for this person, vote for this person, and then never said any of that. Now that's where things get clearly not fine, clearly deception. But if you're using it as a protective measure, then that's fair to be like, yeah, I removed this person, or I removed their face so that they were protected from any harm or situation, or doxing, different things that come up like that. That's an ethical decision, and that's a helpful decision. That's where AI can be used to very much help people. You don't have to sacrifice the quality of your footage, but you can also help these things out. Even with children, it's like you use AI to remove faces for parents who don't want their children on video, don't want their children in a picture, those kind of things, because not everybody wants their kid in a picture that goes on the internet without their consent, or without them taking it and without them sharing it. That's completely fair. Now, scenario number 6, generating synthetic interview footage of a real public figure saying things they never said.
Deepfake.
Dom says deepfake, clearly deception. I mean, that speaks for itself. I'm not going to go generate John F. Kennedy saying Popeyes is the best restaurant in the world. That's clearly deception. He's not even alive anymore. Yeah, we're not doing that. So that's clearly deception. Oops. Let me get back to clicked on my screen. Okay. So what does the industry use to define these topics when they're talking about it? They use restoration, enhancement, alteration, and synthesis. These are essentially the 4 stages of the ladder. The first, restoration, it's recovering what was already there. This is your denoise, this is your upscale, this is your color, this is your footage repairs, anything you're doing to restore footage, video, photos, different things like that. Number 2 is enhancement, improving what was already captured. That's the voice isolation, the auto denoise, the voice stabilization, the image stabilization, the shaky video now being warp stabilized to make sure it's not so shaky anymore. That's enhancing the video. Not inherently wrong. You're good. Number 3 is alteration, changing what was captured, object removal, and face blurring. Now, this is kind of where the lines get blurry because we've actually been advertised this. I've seen it with Samsung advertising. I've seen it with Apple advertising. You can remove people out of your pictures. You can blur people's face out. You can alter video. You can alter photos. You can remove. You can add those different things. So changing what was already captured depending on what the situation is. It can be ethical or unethical. Depends. Now, number 4 is synthesis, creating what never existed. This is generating B-roll. This is cloning a voice. Anything that's generating something that was never created before. This is also where the lines get a little bit blurrier because there are different reels on social media that someone will be talking about. Let's say the stock market. And they say things go up, things come down. And there are softwares like Opus Clip that generate B-roll based on what they're speaking about. That's not inherently wrong, because you're just using that B-roll to accentuate the point. But if it's a false situation and you're generating something to be false, like for example, there was a picture of, I don't remember exactly what the building was. It's not the World Trade Center. It was a large financial institution building in New York. And a picture was generated as if it had been attacked. It's the same way during 9/11. That sent the stock market into a frenzy. And we spoke about that before in one of my other classes. But it sent the stock market down dramatically. Huge sell-off in one day, only to find out that it wasn't a real picture, and the stock market recovered that same day. Now, that is where synthesis is now unethical, because you're using that to manipulate a narrative that is not happening. So, yeah. Now, a lot of people don't understand that this problem is actually way older than AI. Well, AI is actually a little older. AI has actually been around since the 1960s, but it's not been used the same way. It hasn't been used at such a scale. So the problem is older than the consumer AI that we have today. So in 1982, the National Geographic digitally moves the pyramids to fit a cover. Not wrong. They're altering the picture to make it fit for a cover. 1994, Time magazine darkens O.J. Simpson's mugshot. If you don't know who O.J. Simpson is, I'm sorry, I'm not that we're not gonna have that conversation today. But look it up. And the rule the industry landed on: you can adjust, but you cannot add or remove. You can move stuff around. You can adjust it to make it work for what you're trying to put it on. But you cannot add or remove to it. Meaning I cannot add aliens landing on top of the pyramids. Dom has a question.
Quick question.
Yes.
Bro, when does these kind of like, I don't know, not white lies, but like innocent forms of deception maybe? Or when does that land under propaganda?
So Dom's question was, when do these creations land under propaganda? I'm not actually entirely sure, but I would say, from my personal thoughts, is like it lands under propaganda when you're starting to try to push a narrative that isn't backed by the truth, but opinion. Now,
you can adjust, but if you try to remove or add, that could be more okay. That could be more fun.
yeah, because if you're like, let's do just like a light example. If you're trying to say like Chick-fil-A is better than McDonald's, that's an opinion. But if you're generating like, and we take two pictures and 2 videos of their food, right? And this is actually a good example, like, because the CEO of McDonald's didn't want to eat his own burger. And then the CEO of Chick-fil-A, I don't know if he actually ate his own chicken sandwich, but like, Dan Cathy shows up at InvestFest and explains why Chick-fil-A is the business that it is. So let's say I create a video that is showing McDonald's food in the trash can, and it's like blue or the green stinky smoke coming from it and everything like that. But then like the Chick-fil-A is like the heavenly thing. Now it's like you're trying to push a narrative of an opinion to make things look better that aren't actually true, essentially. But when it comes to, instead of being like, look, this is the data, like McDonald's food has this much more calories than Chick-fil-A's food, and so on and so like, and you're going based off of data, and you're just like, this is the data, and I make these numbers smaller so they fit on this sheet. That's not really propaganda. That's just kind of like, this is my opinion, this is the data. If you like it, you agree, so on and so forth. That kind of thing.
Nice.
That would kind of be where my thing is.
Gotcha.
But yeah, back to the rule is AI didn't create the ethical question. It just dropped the price of violating the rule. So it's just cheaper to violate those rules now. Before, it used to cost thousands of dollars, and it cost a lot of time, effort, all those things. It doesn't cost that anymore. So, excuse me. Yeah, it just dropped the cost. Oh, so what do the standards say now today? Major organizations already have AI policies, and the common threads they all rhyme. So PBS, shout out to PBS, AP and BBC policies, they all really rhyme. Public media's entire business model is trust, and these rules exist to protect that trust. AI can assist production, cleanup, transcription, and rough cuts, but AI cannot generate depictions of real events presented as real, and synthetic or significantly altered media must be disclosed. And consent is a requirement. If you're doing anything with a real person's face, consent is a requirement. Plain and simple, standards, they all rhyme. It's very easy to understand. Don't do anything you're not supposed to be doing. And the stuff that you do use it for, use it to help and assist, not to generate unreal things. So, what is the consent gap? Actors, they went on strike partly over AI likeness rights, and they won consent and compensation requirements. Now, same thing with voice actors. They're suing AI companies over their cloned voices because people are using their voices without their consent, and people are making money off of their voices without their consent, thanks to these platforms. Now, this is something that I mentioned in one of my reels before, but the standard interview release form most of us use, if we're using one at all, which you should, says nothing about AI manipulation. So, some practical homework for all my podcasters and interviewers out here. Update your release forms. If you don't have one, create one. But make sure it says something about AI manipulation, and make sure you go over that with who you're interviewing before this becomes a problem, because it can be very dangerous. Just saying. It'll help you out in the long run. Now, the legal landscape. This is the brief part. I'm not a lawyer. Look, I'm not a lawyer. So this is brief. I'm going to be brief. I'm just going to explain what I know, what I understand, okay? But you don't need to memorize the statutes. You just need to know that the exposure exists. So, right of publicity. Your face and your voice are yours, and it states are expanding protection to cover AI recreation. So it's not fully in place yet, but they're expanding. Election deepfake laws they're a growing patchwork of state laws restricting synthetic political media. It's happening. Defamation risk. Putting words in a real person's mouth is legally dangerous, AI or not. You get caught doing it, there could be serious legal implications. The client asked for it is not a defense. That person saying, oh, well, they wanted it, or oh, I thought it was, not a defense. Keep that in mind. That's all I'm going to say on that. Now, I told y'all you're going to be able to figure it out. I told y'all we're going to have a framework. And I made it simple. We got 3 questions. 3 questions. You can ask yourself, it's going to help you. And as you run every project through this, it's going to help you. I'm telling you, it's going to help you. Results may vary, but it's going to help you. Number 1, the reality claim. Does this content ask the audience to believe it depicts something that actually happened? If yes, the bar is the highest. Fair enough? Make sense?
Makes sense.
Cool. Consent. Does every real person represented know and agree to how their face, voice, or likeness is being used? Test. Would you be okay with it if somebody did it to you? If the answer is no, the answer is no. Number 3, disclosure. If the audience found out how this was made, would they feel informed or deceived? And if you're hiding your method, you know the answer. Plain and simple. You're hiding it, you know it's not right. You have a conscience. You know when stuff is not right. So don't be doing that. I'm watching you. Got my AI eyes on you. I'm watching you. My AIs. See what I did there? That's how I'm playing. Okay, so how do we stress test the filter? Because maybe the filter don't work. Maybe it's the old Brita filter. Maybe Javon's wrong. You never know. So we gotta test it. Gotta make sure it's right. So let's run the 2 hardest scenarios back through it. Okay? So scenario number 3, the AI B-roll of a Denver street. Reality claim, well, sort of. It's based off of a real thing. Consent, nobody really was there. The place was empty. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was there. And disclosure, this is really where it lives or dies. Because, we can go back to the questions. If the audience found out how this was made, would they feel informed or deceived? I don't know. Depends on how you use that. So it's if I'm using it to be yeah, this is a horrible part of Denver. This is a horribly managed part of Denver. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of where it's up to your ethical mind to figure that out. See what I'm saying? See how that line gets blurry there? But yeah. So let's say we did it and we just showcased what it looked like. It's not really, they're not going to feel deceived. They may feel informed. They may feel a little deceived because it's not technically true. But overall, they'll feel more informed about the area and then they'll just want to go see it themselves. Hopefully. Me, I'm going to be oh yeah, I'll go see it myself. Cool. Now, scenario number 5. Removing a protester's face for safety. Emphasis on for safety, not just removing their face. Reality claim, yes, it's a documentary. Consent, the alteration protects the person. You can reach out to that person and say, hey, I took your face out of this. But at the end of the day, we're taking it out to protect him. So the consent doesn't necessarily matter right there because we're taking it out to make sure that you're protected. But maybe that person asked, so there's the consent too. So it depends on that situation. Now, disclosure. You tell the audience the image was altered and why. So Dom asked me, why is that person out? Oh, yeah. I took that person out because that person is in danger or that person didn't want to be on there. And for protection reasons, they're in witness protection. They're in, they have different things going on. They have an NDA, whatever it is. We did it to protect them. And that's why we took them out. Now, they don't feel deceived. They feel more informed because now they're oh, this person is being taken out because they're protecting them. So now they trust me too because now they know I'm protecting them. But this final quote goes back to what I was saying before. The filter doesn't resolve everything automatically. It tells you which questions to ask. It tells you how to think about what you're doing. And a framework that answered everything cleanly would be lying to you. If I told you do this every single time, I'm lying to you because there's gray areas everywhere. So I'm just here to give you a framework to help you think through it. So when you're asking yourself and trying to figure out is this ethical or not, you know how to come to that conclusion yourself. Hopefully, you're coming to the ethical conclusion of doing your best to not be a detriment to others. Be a good person. Shout out to be a good person. Now, a couple things to take with you. The tool has no ethics. You do. AI is not the ethical question. Deception is. Every use decision belongs to the human holding the tool. Same thing. If me and Dom are building a house, and we have hammers, and I am using the hammer to hit the nail into the wall. But then I decide I'm going to hit Dom in the back of his knee, and I break his knee. Now it's like, well, that's unethical use of the tool. Common sense. I'm not supposed to hit him with the hammer. That's not how you use a hammer. You use it to hit a nail. Plain and simple. Now, number 2, know the vocabulary. Restoration, enhancement, alteration, synthesis. The stakes, climb the ladder. Easy enough to understand. Run the filter. Reality claim, consent, disclosure. Ask these before AI touches the project. Before you let AI touch the project, ask these. Plain and simple. Number 4, update your release forms now. Before it's a problem, not after. Now, if y'all are not using release forms, and I will admit I didn't use release forms for a while too, use them. Build your release form and add some AI things into that as well. Do some research to make sure that you're getting the correct language. Speak with a lawyer, speak with a professional, of course. Yeah. Now, the one asset you cannot generate. We're going to bring it home. The tools will keep getting better, cheaper, and faster. Detection will keep losing. Laws will keep lagging, which leaves the only durable protection. Professionals who know where they are on the spectrum and are honest about it. Trust is the one asset in media you cannot generate. You can only earn it or spend it. Easy enough to understand. And so I earned a little bit of trust. That's AI generated pictures. I'm just saying. I didn't make that. All right. Your turn. Q&A. Bring your gray areas, your real projects, your real clients, your real dilemmas, and let's run them through the filter together. Feel free to message me on Instagram. Meet me at DCM. Send me an email. Everything you need to know. Yeah. Reach out to me. Feel free to open up, and I will do my best to help you. I cannot guarantee I'm going to give you everything that's going to help you, but I can do my best. Plain and simple. And that's all I got for you guys. So everybody have a good day and stay ethical. Appreciate it. I'm not sure if we're cutting. Drew, are we cutting? No questions? Cool. All trust is the asset you cannot generate. You can only spend it or earn it. Now, anybody who, since we don't have any questions, I will see y'all at the next class sometime next month. I'll let Drew take us out of here.
And who benefits, dog, he don't chase viral. He builds a spine cause clicks fade fast, but integrity's timeless. Got students trying to flex. B-roll of pain. He like, why you filming? Who wins from this frame? Camera ain't neutral. It carries your weight. Every angle of choice, every cut of debate. Funny with it, but serious in tone. Knows power lives in what you leave alone. Creative bad boy, not messy allowed. Just teaching folks how to be human and proud. So if Javon talk media, you better lean in. He'll give you the tools and the mirror within. That's the real flex, that's the dangerous joy. Javon the creative, ethical bad boy.